Hi and welcome back. Short interlude, time to take care of things. Joined again with Stuart Forbes. So Stuart, we're right into it with the triples here, Eastern Raiders versus Blazers.
Yeah, it should be a fantastic little match coming up. Everyone in this team, fantastic and performed well so far in the tournament so far, and I think we're going to be in for a cracker.
Yeah, look, interesting out here. We've got probably three of my ex teammates of Karen Gatto, Gav Fife, and Chris Flavel from a couple of different clubs that I've been at, and one of yours sitting out here predominantly.
Yeah, Justin Parkinson, current member of Holdfast Bay, and I guess probably the benchmark for everyone at Holdy currently. He was the best skipper, not only in the club, but I think he finished 7th in Premier League last season. So not only him, but his rink performed admirably. And in a debut season, you really can't ask for much more than that.
No, I actually had the pleasure of bowling against Justin in the I think it's the Streaky Bay day that you have.
Yeah, lovely day, and sponsored by the Streaky Bay Prawn Company, and a fantastic tournament all round. Not only just for the stand of the bowls, but the fun that everyone has when involved in it as well.
So a little bit of room to play with in there. Laney's parked him at the back there.
Yeah, and with Gavin coming in at number 2, considering the damage he did at skip last week against Cassandra Harvey, that's child's play for him essentially.
Well, he hasn't let his skip down. He's added to the count. A couple of feet in it.
Yeah,
but
so
not a bad opener.
Yeah, exactly right. Plenty of room to work with. Anything behind's always going to be naturally a pretty good thing to accomplish, and I mean, I've always found it's easier to take off weight than it is to put on. I'm not talking
I'll take a challenge on that.
Yeah, I'm not talking about physical body. I'm talking about bowls.
I'll tell you what, look, Gavin Pfeiffer looks a formidable type, whether he's on a bowler's green or the front bar, but I'll take a bit of a Pepsi challenge with him on the par, so we'll see if we can't get away with a bit of blue murder here.
Well, I mean, that was a very, very quick second description that you'd added then, but I caught it regardless. And in any event, second bowl wasn't too bad in hindsight. It's going to be a very handy bowl.
We'll see if we can't poke the bear. Hey, Five, you're allowed to get him close, mate. You're allowed to get him close. I'm sitting right here all game.
I wasn't sure if he gave us a thumb.
He's poking the bear.
I wasn't sure if he gave us a thumbs up or a shucker bra.
I think he knows I'm sitting here all game. I'm not going too far.
That's exactly right.
No, look, Gav Fife, great bloke. I often have a bit of fun at Izzy Spence and vice versa. It's a good bit of banter that we have there, and at the end of the day, as Mark Casey said, it's the social part of the game. It's the camaraderie, the friendship. Really, the main reason why I play the game.
Yeah, exactly right.
Not for my talent.
I mean, naturally, I found cricket unbearable as well. But I always thought, aside from the competitive aspect of bowls, I always loved just getting amongst the banter, and I think those that know me know I'm not shy from throwing a bit of stick to players left, right, and centre. I think that's how I landed my position here to begin with.
Well, it's definitely not from being an introvert, I can assure you that.
Well, I mean, if I could define myself in 3 words, I'd say concise.
You just got me lost for words. Fair dinkum. Yeah, I'll pick up the other 2 words and move with it, shall I?
Yeah. I don't know what you label them as either.
Well, look, I just quickly into this. I mean, Justin Parkinson's no pressure. What's he probably holding?
Chasing
3 or
it.
4.
Lazily draws another.
Parking in a 5th.
Oh, thank you very much. And
of course, actually here in the commentary, I've been talking about him all game, but there is a talented Forbes, and he's just joined us.
He was the star of the triples in the last game. He's sitting out this one. Adam Forbes, thanks for joining us. And as the super sub, how are you this evening?
It's great to be here. Always a pleasure.
You sound like you're exactly out of 12th man as well.
Yeah, no, it's marvellous.
Marvellous. So if anyone would know the difference between the Forbes, one's talent and quiet, and the other just talks a lot.
I thought you were going to say talk something else there, but yeah, I think we're both guilty of that.
How did you find the conditions out there today, Adam?
Yeah, it was quite good, nice and dry under the dome, and yeah, it was pretty kind to our team on our rink this evening.
Someone earlier in the night asked what sort of bowls you were using. I said lawn bowls. Am I accurate in that one?
Yeah, correct.
Good.
Do you have a particular make and model that you use above all else?
Always Dreamline XGs, the perfect bowl for all conditions.
There we go. Spoken like a true spokesman as well.
Yeah.
Now the Super League, obviously a great thing. You were in the second live stream in the pairs with Andrew Hill. Didn't go you well, but as an overall concept and tournament, how do you think it's all shaped up over the coming weeks?
No, it's great. I think each week it's getting better and better. Your commentary's getting better. So yeah, I just hope it continues to grow, and it's, above all else, it's good exposure for our sport, and yeah, hopefully it helps drive some more participation.
Brilliant. Well, thanks very much, mate. And of course, thanks for the food and the water.
Anytime.
That was the one and only Adam DJ Forbes. I'd list off his accomplishments, but I don't think we have all night.
So of course we're over inundated with Pirates, obviously. Mate, I hear you're a bit of a front runner, Tomo.
Definitely a front runner, but I've got Lucky Forbes playing with me.
Well,
You can call him for any shots. He glides off bowls from the other rink to get the shot. He's unbelievable. Back cuts kiddies. Poor old Todd wanted to kill him after the first end.
So of course Gary Thompson, the skip of the Mallee Pirates triples, obviously enjoying the lazy boy armchair ride.
Mate, I was there to straighten the kiddie up and write the score down, and I did that pretty poorly too.
Well done, Tomo.
I mean, sounds like you still had a greater game than Josh did, even though he had a win.
Oh yeah, well, it's been known that you need the Thompsons in the side to win overall, and that's been noted. I've actually told John Morris that.
Actually, we gave your young lad that much ribbon. I think we snapped a couple of ribs on him, but I can tell you what, he absolutely bowled some real treats in there.
Yeah,
and,
he was phenomenal.
He was.
Well, he's working on his fitness at the moment, as you would have noticed, and John said he has to lose 10 kilos to be picked next year.
In the Pirates team?
In the Pirates team, he needs 10 kilos off.
I hope that applies to the entire squad, because otherwise no one will get picked.
Hang on. Dave Carter's pretty fit. Sorry, boys, you're doing a fantastic job. Congratulations to everybody that comes out and watches, because that makes the atmosphere of the game, and it's been fantastic. And everything that you boys are doing behind here, the stuff that you're doing on Facebook, congratulations. Bowls needs to move forward. You're doing a fantastic job. See you, boys.
Thanks very much, Gary Thompson.
Thanks, Tomo.
From the Mallee Pirates.
And a nice bit of banter, but ultimately at the end, a very strong message to, not only to you and I, but everyone that comes out and supports this live in the flesh. You get a great atmosphere. Some things that just the internet can't recapture, and I think he spreads a great message.
Yeah, it's interesting. He says what we're doing, but you know what? We can only be as good or whatever else the people around us allow us to be.
Exactly right.
The players are fairly open with us. They tell us some stuff, and of course, you've got to respect that. Not everything you're told you can probably say on air or should say on air, because it's not. We're not. Whilst we banter or jibe, the people that we're doing it about or to, we are friends with.
Yeah, exactly right.
We have relationships with them, and they do talk to us during the week.
Yeah.
They know, most of them know they're going to get lit up a little bit.
Yeah, I think it'd be remiss of us to not have a bit of, a joke or two at some of the players, because, naturally, they'd want to hear it about the same people, and it creates an ambiance, I guess you could say, a bit of an atmosphere, and naturally these are just things that occur in bowls naturally. So
how good are you guessing?
Oh, relatively.
What do you reckon's happening here at this head?
I guess they're having a pretty good game.
We certainly haven't been concentrating.
No, I believe that is in fact 2-2 the Blazers.
Yep.
Possibly
I reckon they're holding about 4.
Yeah, Chris Flavel's bowl slides in there. Not sure if it actually counts, because we do have to factor in Gavin Fluffers at the back.
Well, that last bowl's probably 4th wood, and he just clapped your in. So I reckon they're holding 4.
There we go. So
JP,
Parko,
hereby called the judge,
because he sentences people to defeat, I guess.
Well, here we go. Well, not much in it.
Well,
Not
he
much in it.
didn't miss by much, but it was still a miss, unfortunately. So plenty of room for the Blazers to really for the Raiders to take over here.
It looks really interesting. You got that outside bowl that can possibly get pushed in, but you'd almost say the safe hand was the other way. So Stuart's eagle eyes are just indicating that it's the Blazers v the Raiders.
Yeah, just to save a little bit of confusion. Probably about the only thing that I'll be pretty smack bang on the money on at any point this evening.
I actually didn't notice that obviously Teresa Emberton, a member of the Southern Blazers, wasn't here. So, had dinner with a few of the my bowlers, obviously another sort of a club, I suppose to speak, which Teresa and her husband Michael are a part of. I had dinner with them last Sunday night, which I had to leave early from the game. You took over and did an outstanding job.
Yeah, with Miko, that was good fun. Lovely little 15 minutes of bowls that we got to witness, and well, I mean, it's been fantastic bowls every single week in the commentary booth that we've been privileged to witness. So,
and of course, Lady McGorman showing us why she plays where she does, a member of the Paynham Bowling Club and also the state ladies team.
Yeah, exactly right. She's been at the forefront of ladies bowls for a long time now. Was in the juniors when I was in the mix of that, and she only seems to be going from strength to strength each and every year, and really just playing some fantastic shots. And it's been rewarded. They've given her the most important position in the game at league.
Can the scores be fixed on the screen, please? Yes, Jose, and there you go. See, that's how quick it happens, mate. You ask, we deliver.
Yeah, so we do have we've managed to make the adjustment for the Blazers and Raiders. We did have that extended play when everyone was watching me.
And of course, Jose Gill wins the prize this week. He's the person that picked up on it. It was a deliberate act. We've left it out there to see if people are actually watching.
Exactly right. You win a round of applause. Self-provided, of course.
Yeah, so give yourself a pat on the back.
Thank you very much for making that call.
Jose Gill, president of the Modbury Bowling Club.
Yes. Now, Michael Lodge letting his go, and it's tracking very, very well so far.
He's got laneys to work in off of, but he might just catches an edge.
Just caught probably too much of a splinter and died down quickly. But I mean, it was looking very deadly from the outset. And Alison Saunders, how is the pairs going? The good news is that it is 3-0 for the Blazers. Oh, sorry, no, the Raiders. Sorry, both teams being in red.
Because that's a game with Ash Wiley and Mark Evans up against Tony Lucas and Mitch Percy. So yeah, very very hard-hitting and heavyweight match up there for both teams. Actually reasonably disappointed, the fact that I'm actually doing more work right now for Alison Saunders than I do at home. So I think we're just setting an unrealistic benchmark. I mean, I suppose in fairness, you got me to lift 25% of that at minimum. So probably evens out in the end. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, Alison. Make sure the pizza's obviously there, ready and warm. Shout out to Georgia and Madison, my twins. I'll be home around 10:30 if you're still up. I guess there'll be consequences. Not for me, of course. Cause even on a weekend. I can't do it, but I'll get in trouble, no doubt. It'll be my fault. I mean, the way you talked up the pizza, I'm starting to wonder if I can get an invite over myself afterwards. Yeah. Hey, I'm in the car right home. Where's my invite? Anything for you, Jose? Well done. Dons v Saints scores. The Dons are 3 miles in front of the Saints. Saints haven't left the change room. I have absolutely no idea. Maybe Stewie can get that up on his phone for me. I wouldn't have a clue, and I'm a Kangaroo supporter by any stretch, so I don't really care. And I'm a Carlton supporter. My season finished back in March. That was round 1, wasn't it? Yeah. It's got a bit of work to do, but it might be fortunate to get a result there, I'd suggest. Oh, bit of a clap going on from Laney. I'm not sure if that was probably Chris.
Yeah, it does appear to be closer than it looks from the sideline.
But, I think
Parko taking a little bit of extra precaution before he bowls.
it's interesting. You talk about something like that. It had crossed the head. It was lost. It's got the work in off a bowl, take a shot. You've got the result.
And changes everything up as well at the same time.
Do you clap it or you don't clap it?
I feel there's certain avenues you can take about that. If it was just a blatantly bad bowl that got a good result, naturally you don't clap that. But I feel that if you took said bowl out of the piece, and it would have been probably a reasonable good bowl, if not the same result regardless, I think that's a pretty safe assumption that you can clap that.
Yep.
They sent it in the appropriate area.
It's interesting. Sometimes you think it's reactionary.
Yeah.
So probably unintentional. Person's done it. You look at different levels through the game and people I think that up at the top level, that bowl that gets, I guess, a glide, so that splinter in. It's probably not a bad bowl because it was in that area. It was always going to go in, but what we call that 3 foot wide wick that comes and works into a shot, and you get those people that clap it like makes their hands through. You go, I really don't understand how that's actually a good bowl.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guilty of it myself. I have a knack of doing it extremely sarcastically. I once clapped a bowl that was 6 foot short. It was the shot bowl, and I said, "What a great bowl!" as sarcastically as I could, purely because no other bowl was good in that end. Much to the dismay of my opponents, but I think they finally realised the irony of what I'd said. But yeah, I think there's way you can have a bit of banter and say, "Oh, well, it'd be funny if it got off that," and it does. But I think it's another thing to go and clap said lucky result.
And obviously the discussion point we're having, I think that Chris, that bowl that we were talking about, probably held on to old shot. So 5-2 to the Eastern Raiders.
Yeah, so the Raiders are an unbeaten triples at this stage in the tournament as well, looking to extend that form. So naturally we had them up against the Rogues in Max Kleinig, Di Merch, and I think it was Kate Argent Bowden last week, and they emerged victorious. And in round one, I forget who they were playing exactly, but yeah, emerging with the win as well, which I think was against Mark Haynes and co. So, this is clearly a very experienced triples team. The coaches clearly kept them together for a reason, because they work. So you wouldn't expect them to drop too many over the campaign.
Because the Central Chargers are over on the far side playing against the Spartans. That someone actually alluded that Mark Haynes struggles to bowl in this environment. No, it's actually said that the way that he bowls, he actually lines up on the crossover line, the 21 metre line across. And because this green actually doesn't have it, and it doesn't have the lines going all the way up to the 21 metre mark. And that's actually where Mark takes his line from.
Okay.
So, and that, to be honest, and that's not a ribbing. That is actually someone that's actually bowled very closely with Mark at different levels that actually suggested that that's why, because he heard in the commentary that I said, look, Mark probably didn't have the best day that he's had. And he did suggest to me, look, the reason why is because we're all different. Some bowl, they bowl from the hip, I guess, or find their muscle memory. Others point at the bank. And Mark's point reference that he's been is actually on the green at those cross-referenced lines.
Interesting. Naturally, there's one player at Holdy in particular. They aim at the line almost immediately next to them on a 45-degree angle and bowl from there. So naturally, there's infinite ways you can line up to bowl. So if one happens to be removed from you from the synthetic surface, that there's no telling how much that could affect your game.
Yep, and it's interesting if you go out there on those lines where you can see that the mat's actually been stretched. Probably pays testament that when you first get the green down or the matting down, that it doesn't need to be stretched, that maybe just the chalk, your string flick chalk is probably the better thing that helps remove those lines that you see down at the end.
Gets rid of any potential imperfections going further, because they do get stretched over time. And Logie sailing through with that one, but matches his first, so...
Yep, and I think that you'll find that's Laney McGorman's bowl that's sitting there holding shot.
Yeah, so a few more for the Raiders, and they look to continue on their merry way at this stage, relatively unfazed as well. And Michael Lodge, as he sends that one down, finishes at the very least third wood, but
we'll
good
just grab
rebuttal
Michael
regardless.
Lodge just quickly. Lodgy, how are you, mate?
Yeah, good, thanks, TJ. How are you?
Good, mate. Big build-up, 8 o'clock kickoff. How are you feeling?
I'm awake and I'm building into the game. Took me a couple of ends, but I'm getting there.
Spoke to the coach before the game, mate. Looked really, really happy with the triples. You guys pulled one right out of the fire last week, mate.
Yeah, well, it was a good game all the whole game through, and we hung in there and got the job done in the end. So,
Well, good luck, mate. Wait, keep it. I
Thanks,
think
mate.
Chris probably wants some instruction over there.
he knows what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing.
And, Lodgy's words don't prove to bite him as Chris Flavel draws another. So that's the number 2 that really knows his place. So
Guess, Jeff Munn walking pensively to the mat. Looks like he's got a bit of a limp, actually. He's going to use the sore knee here. And, of course, his lovely mother, no doubt, will be watching from Narracourt.
yes. Still not the farthest place we've had tuning in this evening, but a fair way by any means. And currently 2 down and playing a very tough bowl with his last to try and get shot back.
Yep.
It was great weight by Money right there, but unfortunately wasn't on the money.
No, it wasn't on the money. And, of course, look, Justin Parkinson, second wood.
Yeah, fantastic shot there by Parko.
Yep.
It was methodical almost in the way that he let it go, that it was going to be close. Lands the shot bowl for second wood, and with 2 bowls still to come, with 1 bowl still to come, you imagine he's going to make it.
Well, he's given it the width. I can tell you what, he's hit that at the right angle.
That's a beautiful
That
shot
is
by
an
Chris Flavel.
absolute cracker
A
from Chris
wonderful
Flavel.
shot. So Chris Flavel, as it seems, has just only gotten better and better on this TV rink. He's had 3 games on it now, and only seems to be improving his performance each and every time. Just refining those, what would otherwise be sort of near misses into perfect shots. And Justin Parkinson played a bit of weight in his forehand, but just sailed slightly wide. Beautiful weight to pick up the jack.
Was alluded a couple of weeks ago, and there are surfaces that you get told, mate, there ain't no 2 foot on, draw off. It's either draw or drive.
Yeah.
It was interesting that there's one I particularly remember playing at where it was a person that played that club the year before then in my team said, look, if you miss your first drive, go draw the rest of the day.
Yeah, I've been told the same thing early in my junior days, and certainly feel the same way. You miss the first one. If it's close, you can sort of look a little bit the other way and go, I wasn't far off, I can get it. But certainly if you miss 2 in a row, you focus on your draw bowl and get your rhythm back, and that's when you make your moves.
Because they're interesting 5-2 to the Eastern Raiders in the singles on the 5th end with Jeff Munn drawing shot.
Yeah, fantastic shot. And over in the pairs, we have the Raiders leading 3-1. So as it currently stands, the Raiders in very good stead for the All Rink victory. Not that anything's guaranteed at this stage. And Torrensville Bowling Club live at Barmera, which is... I have to imagine it's a huge undertaking to move an entire club.
Well, in all fairness, they've moved half because there's no roof on it.
Yeah. So
The stream's really delayed. You can always refresh it and just catch up again.
Yep.
But yeah. To Karen from Torrensville, thanks for tuning in, and thanks for tuning in all the way in the Riverland as well.
I think they're talking about Go Karen Gatto. Of course, Mick Gatto, a member of the Torrensville Bowling Club. Karen's
There we go.
Karen, the lead out here in the triples for the Blazers, and also a member of the Adelaide Bowling Club.
There we go. So learn something new every day. So thanks for tuning in.
I'm not sure about the relationship to Mick Gatto, of course.
Yeah,
But if you want a crane, see Mick Gatto.
yeah. My first thought was the Underbelly series as well.
The Carlton crew. It's the only thing we've won. We lost a few players.
Yeah, to suspension, no doubt. Alex Giebert, Lodgy is a god. Well, I mean, evidence is finding it hard to prove otherwise. So yeah, I would suggest that he is a deity.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, he's approachable. I'll tell you what, he's always happy.
He performs miracles more often than not.
Yep. So go. Oh, we got the knuckle pump.
Yeah, so the team's very pumped up. That was more than Fife gave in last week to Steph Clark. Lodgy lining up with a big one here.
Oh,
Let's that go with gusto and verve.
Bang!
And,
Hey.
what a
Well,
great
he's-
attempt there by
he's
Lodgy.
At least he's exposed that he's one down. Look back hopper, but it's
Yeah.
open.
Peels one clean as a whistle. Was pretty unlucky to not get both in the end, but fantastic result regardless. And you have no reason to doubt that Chris Flavor's going to be shy of that. either.
Paul Sigley, hello. Someone and Stu, don't read that. You're an absolute flog. Awesome job, boys. Thanks very much, Sigs. Because coach of Edwardstown and a very close and personal friend of mine.
So that explains why he called you Tim and not TJ.
Yes, thank you very much. He knows it just to wind me up.
I guess the J then stands for junior.
Yes, well, you keep guessing 40.
I know half the riddle at least.
Yes, like he and I'll get in there before he does it, but he will yell across the pump. Well done, Timothy. Just to get a big wind up.
And big welcome and thanks for tuning in to Geraldine Williams from Penola.
Nola heading down the southeast there.
So thanks for making the journey from the NBN. Justin Parkinson looking to line up and really just make life a bit harder for Chris Flavel. Naturally, with the jack in full flight, it's a bit tempting not to run it, but
Well, who's got the back bowl?
well, I think that's Parco's first. Oh no, not Parco's first, but it's the Raiders anyway. So
So you'd have to suggest that he's not going to be short. He's lining up on the mat. He's not going to be short here.
exactly right.
Yep, and we've got the slips caught and forming, so I reckon he's coming through with weight. Yep.
Yeah.
If I knew I could pick the Powerball numbers, I could do that, but that's been lost.
Yeah, unfortunately, probably let it go a bit too gingerly. Trying to be delicate, giving it a bit of bending weight rather than full blood.
Yep.
This does have a tendency to punish those that don't just get it directly perfect, and I feel like it is a proper drive draw kind of green. And Alex Giebert, slightly less godlike, doesn't make him non-godlike. And to Nathan Pedersen, shout out to Goody for marking. The less we say about that, the better, to be perfectly honest, Nathan. He tunes into these live streams after they've been broadcast just to suss for mention. So
what we should do is to make sure he watches lots and continue to mention his name over a 4-hour period.
we want his head to fit under the dome next week, I would think.
Well, it's interesting that when you mention his name, the viewers shot up by about 20%.
Pedersen's or Goodwin's?
Good ones.
I think that's his RAA friends.
So, Karen being a consummate lead, putting one in the area, which is what you need.
Yeah, and as the Blazers pick up a 2 there. Really a much needed effort from the previous end. So just steadies the ship slightly, only 3 down.
Yep.
With this limited end concept, it's when you're playing in it, especially, it's not difficult to wonder just how slowly or just how quickly a lead can shoot out in front of you and escape. So it's good that they've persevered and got that shot just to keep in touch because before, you can blink and it's gone before your eyes almost.
Yep.
It's like Thanos in the Avengers when he snapped his fingers. For anyone that gets the reference.
See, oh no, I think Forbesy poking the bear in the production team trying to get a rise. So I think I'll just lean back and let those things fly through.
Just trying to solidify my spot for season 2. Why aren't you playing Forbes? That's a very good question. The important thing is...
Because he wasn't picked.
Yeah, the important thing is that one Forbes is playing, and that's the better one of the family.
My question to you, Nathan Pedersen, is how many Forbes do you need playing, and why aren't you playing?
I mean, I reckon my dad would make a good addition to any team. I think if you want to show pony in a loudmouth, I'd be great for this format, but I think they want to keep it
I
respectable.
think you're probably being a little harsh on yourself, mate.
That's not to say I'm not a loudmouth and a show pony.
Just going over the singles there, I think Custer was in less than Money is at the moment. He's got one in amongst. He's had a run at it by the looks of it.
Yeah, I mean, he's fortunate to possibly not be down because he has got one in 5, so only takes the right bowl to really make a bad result out of that. Mike Cotton, hey TJ, who's your pick to win the GF? Well, it depends which sports code you're talking about, Mike.
Mike, yeah, hey mate, how you going? Look, GF here, I would actually near put it down to. Well, I would suggest that over there at the moment the Spartans are playing the Chargers. You've got a sneak preview, but you know the Manly Pirates put in an awesome performance tonight. So look, you know it's anyone's game, but if my money was anywhere, probably the Chargers I'd suggest.
And the Pirates also getting over the line of the Raiders last week as well. So by all means, there's no front runner in this. Everyone can beat everyone. If you're talking AFL, well, I'll be wishful and say North Melbourne.
I can tell you it's not Carlton.
Put it this way, but by any means, I'd have to put all my bank account into a wishing well to make that happen. And Michael Lodge with a great shot just out of luck. Turns the ball once, but just isn't enough.
But you know what? It's in the air. It's leading in.
Opens it up slightly.
Plenty of damage can be done there, but you know, with the green, as I said, you know, I don't know if you're going to be out on that hand, bend that in there. Well, let's wait and see what happens.
Yeah, remains to be seen, but this has been a tournament of great bowls and some, well, in some people's words, miracle bowls too. So, as Justin Parkinson from Holdfast lines up, sizing up
the Southern Blazers.
Yeah, all the Southern Blazers lining up on his backhand. So looks just to draw shot, push Jack right through, and take away the aggressive game from the Blazers.
Tell you what, he's in the area.
He's played this incredibly well. That's a wonderful shot by Justin
converted
Parkinson.
A 1 to a 3 there.
I must say, as a teammate, as a clubmate of his, it's really difficult to not just shout "Great ball, Parko" at the top of my lungs right now. But
well, if you're going to, don't do it in the microphone.
Yeah. How do I turn this off real quick?
But production, I don't know what he's watching there, but he's definitely covered up.
I think he put on the Avengers after my Thanos comment.
I think he's playing Fortnite.
He hasn't denied either.
Oh, he's managed to peel his own out.
Yeah, unfortunate result by Chris Flavel, but
he's still got one rocket left. So
yeah. I mean, it was made increasingly difficult by that shot from Justin.
Interesting thing there, depending on, of course, Parko's next bowl with Justin Parkinson, is that you hit that lead bowl and they're all going.
Exactly right. It almost begs to question whether you leave it completely and just put one right at the tee for the respot.
Yep.
I guess when you're in that position, there's no real right or wrong answer. John Wires, West Coast for flag. Gaffer tape needed though. Hold the team together. Well, sure, if they didn't do anything untoward for 8 weeks, they'll be fine as well.
Yep. It's 3 down. Go again.
And Parko puts one right behind as expected, so you'd expect they'd hold on to this, but stranger things have happened.
He swung it across his body.
Yeah, that's a bad miss, and the
That's actually not a bad pickup. Puts Southern Blazers in front 8-7.
big pickup for the Blazers, and one that they desperately needed. After a slow start, finally starting to make a move on things.
Well,
Karen Gatto leading off in this next end.
well, for all those listeners, great news. I've just had confirmation that my pizza is safe.
Ah, fantastic.
And our Kelpie puppy is watching the TV.
Oh, there we go. So, no doubt to get the occasional yelp for a good shot, provided you've trained it appropriately to respond to bowls. I mean, I dare say if you can do that, you can train it into doing sniffer dog work and all sorts.
I'd be happy for it to go to the fridge and just bring things back.
Slices of pizza.
I don't know about that, but yeah.
I didn't want to say the other thing.
Bottle of water.
Phil Fechner, Shorty, my favourite player. I'm slightly offended at that personally, but
It's a cold night.
yeah. But no, Matt Short plays for the Northern Knights.
Exactly right.
Don't think he donned the Guernsey this evening.
No, he didn't.
But,
I actually bumped into him earlier. He was
rested. Yeah, rested for the doubleheader next weekend perhaps. Rob Molinaro, what's the score? As you can see, the score in front of us is 8-7 for the Blazers.
It's the numbers in the right-hand corner, Robbie.
Assuming you want the overall, however.
It's 22-7 Eastern Raiders.
Yeah, so the Raiders in commanding control currently. On the other green, however, we do have the Southeast Spartans 28-12 over the Eastern Raiders, so that's a huge margin currently. I guess the Raiders you could consider, given that the depth of their squad, a heavily favoured side going into that, but the Spartans refusing to lay down. And Matthew Hall, hello from Kingaroy, Queensland. Hope I pronounced that right. Thanks for tuning in all the way in sunny Queensland. Hope you're enjoying the spectacle in front of you this evening. And Phil Fechner says dropped. Kath Greenslade Spartan score. Did just say it.
28-12.
Yeah, in case you didn't catch it, 28-12 in favour of the Spartans. So out to a very good start so far. I say, interesting choice of music they've decided to put on right now.
Yeah, not terribly sure who's picking the music here at the club, but that is a unique age group that they're aiming at.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, it's a group called the Migos, and they're not Mexican. So why they're called that, I don't know.
So, Gavin Pfeiffer, look, jumping all over that early.
Yeah, Gavin, as we saw last week, a huge player in that win for the Raiders against the Comets, against Cass Harvey and Grace Maloney. So continuing on that great form. And probably gets a bit of a rest, not skipping this week either.
Well, look, I think mixing it up a bit, and the coach is looking for a good combination.
I guess that's the other thing the coaches look for, versatility in a player. You don't want to be lumbered with one guy in one spot. On that chance, there are only 6 positions for 12 players. You've got to rotate, and you want people to be able to respond in various situations. And Chris Flavel makes his way over to us. Whether he's ready for the hot seat remains to be seen, but thanks for being the super sub, Chris.
Oh, no worries.
How are we feeling out there at the moment, mate? The team's neck and neck?
Yeah, no, it's a good contest at the moment. We've had some good ends. Parko's team's had some good ones, so yeah, once you get on there, it's pretty hard to get it off. So
now you are the undefeated triple in this encounter. Does the win streak add extra pressure to how the team performs, or are you just taking it all in stride at the moment?
I think Shadow would have a fair crack at that, be involved in the undefeated streak as well. But yeah, bit of pride, play for it.
Right. We better let you go, mate. I think you're needed.
Yeah.
No worries.
I'll get done for delaying to go.
Thanks, Chris. Sorry, Parker.
Yeah. Sorry, Parko.
Of course, Parko indicating he's definitely changed the stickers.
And you could see it was like a Rubik's cube in his hand the way he was flicking it over.
So
No,
let's see if we put the mockers on Chris. I don't know if we have. So
he sent it down very well to at least to begin
well,
inside the white, and he's a chance. And well, that's a fantastic
That's,
bowl.
I think we're going to get more people join us over here in the commentary area just to get those.
Clearly, the probing interview.
Chris looks over. It doesn't bother him.
Clearly, the probing interview. You know, he's actually a symbol. Give us more. Bring it on. So clearly, the probing interviews that we're giving aren't quite hard enough, and
Probing. Well,
Yeah.
that's what aliens do.
yeah, exactly. I guess we should change it from TJ's torch to bonfire, just so we can try and really put people under
Well,
the
as a matter
spotlight.
of fact, there's one over there, but they mustn't be using the same timber as last week, so I can't see any smoke.
That's what happens when they turn the
Oh.
gas heaters on at 4 a.m. instead of
Well,
12.
interestingly enough, sitting over here in the commentary area, the furthest possible point from that fire, and I got in my car and all I could smell was wood smoke from my clothes.
Oh, jeepers. I had to run on the rain on the way to my car last week, so by the time I got there, all the smoke had disapparated. Chris Flavel saying his bowl's going to turn early, and, well, there's a man that knows his bowls, so called it early and got the right
Tell
result.
you what, he might have snuck it through the back door, and Lodgie's having a close look at it,
Yeah,
so
the weight control was fantastic.
I
Even
think he's...
I think
Yeah,
he
Parker's indicated you might have got the back door there.
Yeah, he didn't like the line of it, and well, I mean, I guess to his grace, he had the right weight to get away with it.
I'll tell you what, yep, Michael Lodge likes it. Gav Pfeiffer not to be outdone says, no, hang on a sec, mate, I don't like your measure.
He's not giving that. It must not be one of those wire measures. Well, as it comes to rest, it's. Yeah, I think that back flop may
Yep,
have done
may have just flopped in.
the back flop may
He
have
has,
done
he's
it.
indicated one down.
So
Parko looking to kneecap Chris Flavel any stage now.
and Chris gives us a friendly wave and a smile. He's loving it right now.
Parko's go, well, that's bombs.
Parko, you can come over for a boost as well if you want. So
It seems like anyone that joins us over here better
So-
get there.
So it seems to be the thing to do to gain a bit of additional form. Justin Parkinson, thanks for joining us. How are you this evening?
I'm going very well, thank you. It's nice out there, actually. It's you'd be surprised. It's actually not that cold under there. It's surprising.
Yeah, it's been pretty warm in the booth right here. Even just watching your sidelines. So naturally, you've just seen Chris come over from an interview and play a few bombs in a row. So considering the pressure that you put up to him so far, what's the mindset to try and make that continue, or how do you respond to that?
Come and chat to you guys, clearly, because that seems to be working for a lot of other people. It seems to have worked the weeks before, so it's just my turn now. So I'm pretty happy about that.
There we go. Well, you got a visitor's pass whenever you want, so hopefully that can be good for you.
Excellent. I might come back just before we play our power play next time. I reckon that might help.
So Parko, coming back the same way last time, absolute bomb, mate. Dragged it back there to pick up a number. So you did that naturally. So you'd be looking to then power play, come and talk to us and put your last bowl down.
Absolutely, that's exactly right. Yeah.
So that'll be bowl of the season by any means.
Bowl of the season so far, yes, absolutely. Be looking for a few more of those. So Kaz has got one in and around the area, which is good, and Laney might give us a little hand here, so that helps a little bit. So
They're having a
going
good battle
all
up the front end there, aren't they?
They are. They're doing good. Yeah, and look, they've been playing one side fairly consistently, and Kaz looking to change hands here by the looks, get a little roll out of hers. So hopefully she can just get up and over it a little bit, and that'll be handy.
Have the conditions been much of an impact so far in the game, or has it, because it's so calm wind-wise, it's not played so much into it?
It's running really good out there. Like probably speed-wise, probably the quickest I've played out here. So it's really good actually. It's running really nicely.
Good.
So and no wind. Got to be happy with that.
Yeah,
So,
Exactly. Especially considering there was 40k gusts predicted, so
Predicted.
that would be very difficult. You'd have to be a Holdfast Bay member to account for that.
yeah, absolutely would be. That's exactly right. All right, guys, I better get back out there. I'll chat with you again soon.
Thanks, Parko.
All right, thanks, Parko. That was Justin Parkinson from the Eastern Raiders and the Southern Blazers.
Southern Blazers and a member of the Holdfast Bay Bowling Club.
Yeah, absolutely. Going into his second year with the Bays, and we couldn't be happy with anyone that's to have joined the club. Absolute stand-up guy and a fantastic bowler to go with it. Now, Michael Lodge leaves a lot of room for as Gavin Pfeiffer lining up. As
Well, probably David. Yeah, no, cheers for that. I'm sure people can read that, but probably not the format we want to be shouting out because it just won't. It'll be endless.
yeah, I don't think we can go start spruiking or everyone will be throwing in with their tournaments.
But thanks anyway.
Now, Parko signing in for Gavin
Oh.
Pfeiffer to turning Karen Gattos will get around it
he's
and
on
gets
taking
around
the
it.
shot.
That's a fantastic shot by Gav.
It is.
So Michael Lodge with the through ball early on, but you wouldn't be surprised if he just dead draws this.
Well, yeah, he has got fantastic control, but that's just sailing through.
Yeah, I mean, made the adjustment, just couldn't quite get the necessary amount. But I mean, you got two in between the tee. If there's an opportunity for a running shot, they're set up for glory there. Just a matter of things going their way now.
Well, this is gonna split the difference.
Well, and Gavin Pfeiffer saying, no, I'm not having any of that. So they're clearly hearing my tactics. I don't have an earpiece on me by any chance that I'm conveying.
Well, I don't know. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So as we transit through these games, and of course the team that support us with the cameras and all that, obviously learning about the game as well, getting some interest, and just saying, look, the bowl that Gavin Pfeiffer put in was that defensive. Well, it's actually quite good because A, it split the two bowls, and B, it's actually holding shot if the end's killed
Exactly.
on the tee.
Yeah, so that's probably the unique, one of the many unique aspects of this tournament. Dead ends, obviously a respot on the 6 foot line, so naturally it pays to put a bowl there because you never quite know what can happen in a game of bowls.
No.
And Ian Buddha-Miller, hi there. Hi, thanks for tuning in.
I thought I saw Ian Buddha-Miller over the other side.
Yeah,
Actually, I do. Actually, I see him sitting at the end of the rink too,
Oh,
watching the
there we
singles.
go.
So hi to Ian. Hey, Buddha!
Hi, Buddha.
Yelling at him across the
Right.
rink.
Rather than give him the shout out over here, we'd rather just boom it over the entire game in the green.
We just thought we'd yell.
This is what happens when there's the least amount of supervision. John Wires, shot grass parrot.
That's Gavin Pfeiffer. That's what we call the Fife.
Yeah, of course. Ex-Townies, ex-Ascot Parkians, the both of you.
Yep.
And Ben Fidock, the pairs score. That is currently
4-10
4-10 for the Blazers. Yes.
for Raiders.
Oh, sorry, for the Raiders. These two red teams are going to throw me out all night,
They
I feel.
are. I can see that already, and
It's not shaping up well. Yeah, so that is 4-10 the Raiders' way. And the Raiders are leading 24-17 overall.
22 ends in.
All scoring the triples, but leading the other two disciplines.
One shot to the Blazers. That part of the night where it all becomes quiet, because after obviously we're into our second game after a full day at work, it's sometimes a struggle. But again, as we're saying, the Leeds and Karen Gatto not faltering again. That is an absolute cracking ball.
Yeah, the Leeds have been playing extremely well again. Fully expect Laney McGorman, to respond to that in time.
That was a very impressive catch there.
Yeah, I've known her for so long, it's almost difficult to say married name just out of force of habit. But
Of course, Andrew, her husband, at home, no doubt, with children, tucked away in bed.
yeah,
The children, that is not Andrew, I'm sure. He'd be watching the stream intently,
Yeah.
you would only assume.
can only imagine. And hi to Andrew if you are in fact tuning in. Just for those that are tuning in, by all means, feel free to comment with a question for us or about scores.
Score on R.
Feel free to Say where you're from. We love finding out where people are from, even if they're visiting another place from another club. All obviously adds to bring the Balls community together and learning a lot about one another and about the game itself.
Interesting though, as you can see from the footage, particularly at the moment, the crowd has thinned out. You know, the first game players have gone, the sport team.
Yeah.
But look, it is the night still. Is it cold? Of course it is. It's winter.
Yeah, exactly right. It's, the way it was panning out to be, obviously a huge improvement on the forecast, but still chilly regardless. But we do still have a very good turnout.
Spartans are 31 to the Central Chargers 18 to Alex Reynolds.
So Spartans really taking a commanding lead in that game. I guess a lot of the marquee players for the Spartans out and missing this game, and the Spartans taking full advantage of that. They're not giving them any sense of leniency at all. And as Michael Lodge draws a very nice shot, just slightly narrow of shot, but going to be handy for his team regardless. And Gavin Pfeiffer sending his down. Karen Gatto, his teammate, obviously with the great start.
That's just managed to hang out there.
Yeah,
Good.
Didn't quite have the weight to get behind, but that kind of weight adjustment, you just got to tighten it slightly, and you're going to get a great shot with your next.
It's interesting, the crowd that's actually behind the singles between Craig Wilson and Blake Feebig. You'd almost, having a look at the people behind that rink, you'd think they're actually full of hecklers.
I think they are. They're all Hyacinth Comets. I think everyone's tuned in to watch that game.
Headed up by the magnificent support of Ben Salty Harris.
Yeah, and of all the people for Craig Mills to play, he's up against the giant killer Blake Feebig. Blake, probably one of the most notable highlights in his storied career. When Scott Tholborn went on his almost unbeaten streak in Premier League, Blake was the only person to beat him in the regular season in the very last minor round of the game. So prevented Scott from making history as the first undefeated skip in SA Premier League history. So when it comes to beating the best of the best, Blake knows a thing or two about it.
I think interesting record would be that of Scott Tholborn's single record the year that he won
Australian Champs.
Or World Championship.
I think it was something along the lines of 42 games undefeated. It was a truly phenomenal effort.
I think the big trivia question is, who's the player that actually beat him?
Well,
let's throw it out to the audience and see if anyone would hazard a guess at who actually ended that streak.
The year he won or the year he lost?
No, the year he lost.
Oh, the year he lost. Oh, I know that one. I won't give that out.
How's the weather? Just building the arc up here to Catherine. I can tell you now, it's an absolute cracking night.
Yeah, it's actually turned out to be fantastic. You couldn't fault the weather at all. There was a bit of rain earlier, but it's fined up. There's no wind at all. I'd say it's even warmed up a degree or two as well as a result.
Okay.
Maybe I've just gone so numb and frostbitten.
Warmed up. Send the polar bear to the penguin.
No, as long as I can be an emperor.
Oh, you can be a fairy penguin for all I care, but it's cold.
Oh, I knew I was walking straight into that. Speaking of polar bears, how much does it take to break the ice?
Michaela Schultz, tell Blake that he won't believe you. Well, there you go.
Blake will believe anything I tell him.
Yes.
It's perk of being a teammate of his for was only a teammate of his for a year, but still, I reckon I can get through to him.
I'm fairly certain that he's gotten over it.
Yeah. Well, he's been bowling well ever since.
It's been released.
David March, where's the rain? That's a good question.
Evidently, Kath Greenslade's got it at the moment.
Yeah, she's built. Yeah, Catherine Greenslade, formerly known as Noah, considering she's building an ark. And thanks for tuning in, Michaela Schulz, as well. We'll be sure to pass on the support to Blake.
Well, so another one to the Blazers. They start to hop away. Got a power play over there at the moment, Stuart,
Yeah, so
to the Southern Blazers.
yeah, I suppose it's only fair. They Parko was saying, coming back to the clubhouse. Surprised he hasn't come over for a chat yet. I think he's
He
forgotten.
will. No, he won't. He'll do it. He'll do it.
So he's doing all that he promised. It's just a matter of whether he. It's a matter of how good they go. And
Of course, on camera there is Matthew Northcott, who's making sure that we're warm and comfortable. No, we're not. We're cold.
and I think hydrated is probably a very important thing and theme. 425th letters, please.
Understood.
So the fight to get ourselves sorted out here in the commentary position at 9 o'clock at night. It's almost my bedtime.
Oh, there we
Okay.
go. I'll make sure we're hydrated for the game.
The interesting thing is that for those viewers out there, that Fat Cat. And remember, Fat Cat went to bed. You had to go to bed.
Yes. Tell you what, there's a few people breaking that law right now.
There's a lot of people that should be in bed right now. So Laney McGorman holding shot there.
Yeah, and two great shots from Laney McGorman there. One right on, the other covering the back ball from Karen Gatto.
Interesting enough, I went in my very short and illustrious career at Lockley's. Actually had Karen Gatto as my lead when I skipped there at Lockley's, as I said, for that short illustrious time. And it really always has been a very solid lead. And look, they said great to have her in the rink. There's always you get those people, I guess, that set a high standard for themselves and can beat themselves up. And Karen enjoys the game and the people around her, and it's good to see that she's gone on with her bowls.
Oh, exactly right. And well, I mean, as she's shown so far, she's very much a formidable opponent to anyone that plays there, and she's putting up some great bowls right now. Yep. Michaela Schulzhaar, I'm his partner, and he never thinks he is good. Wish I was there supporting in person, but I'm glad there is Facebook Live to keep updated. I've little doubt. I'm pretty sure the Spartans they're due for a live stream game coming up. If not next week, the week after. So
I would suggest that next week's nearly a dead certainty.
Yeah, I would.
Well, it's interesting. We've actually had 3 Raiders games?
Yeah, 3 games from the Rogues,
2 Blazers, 2 Rogues,
and a couple from the. And I think 1 from and 2 from the Comets.
And of course, battery level low exchange battery is in front at the moment. Of course, production team getting stuck into that straight away.
So of course we get technical difficulties when the production team walk away from us. So.
It's actually perfect timing, as a matter of fact.
They get back just in time. We're only hoping that you can still hear us whilst we go through this transition.
I'm sure they can.
And wonderful work by the Northcott. Not only does he run a fantastic event and campaign, does he provide putations.
Keep 2 of our greatest volunteers here under control. Doing a fine job, gentlemen.
Now,
we've actually done it. We've actually done tonight both games without adult supervision.
Yeah, we've done well. I think
we actually have done well.
If anything, we've evolved. Now, Matt, naturally, this is, I guess, in a certain percentage of brainchild of yours, and you're the man in charge of everything in the Super League. What's it been like to get it up and running and keeping it all organised and functioning as a well-oiled machine?
Well, firstly, thank you for the promotion. Head honcho of the Super League sounds good on the resume. It's a lot of work week to week, but it's all worth it when you see the players and coaches coming together to enjoy the spectacle. And the players, everyone I've spoken to is really loving it, and getting the opportunity to play with and against different people from around the state. It's been fantastic. So it does take a little bit of effort, but it is all worth it to produce a quality event.
And of course, for the people that do watch the midweek show, Matt's the fellow co-host of mine, and just so you know, Matt has got different hair again.
He does.
He has changed the hair again.
Go on the windswept
He's
look
got the
tonight.
windswept-
Might have either shave it or go around with a beanie permanently. Solve this problem.
I think they,
Evidently, the boss is going around with a beanie on.
I think sorry.
That's for a different reason. He's got none left, I believe.
I think they call it surface chic. What you're going for?
I'm not sure what to call it, but I am actually planning on having a haircut this weekend, so,
So
everyone can
tune
rest
in-
easy.
So tune in, it'll be different again.
Yes, absolutely.
We'll actually be doing a tournament. Send your entries into what is Matthew's hair going to look like this week at Crow's Nest.
Even some suggestions. I'm open to a bit of styling. If you've got any ideas on what I can spruce it up with, let me know.
That's very dangerous.
I feel like if you got braids, they look like stitches. Your hair's so short. And speaking of the midweek show, when can I get on the finals edition as a guest?
Stewie, you can take my spot anytime. I'm happy to remain out in the office and continue tapping the keys. If you want to join TJ, just let us know when you're available and we'll slot you in, 100%.
I feel like we could be a three-piece, like a Fringe act.
It's a very small room, that's all I'll say. I'm not sure it'll quite work
They
out
actually need a
logistically.
shoehorn to get us in and out of there, I can tell you straight away. It is a very small room that's filmed in.
and a desk to get people the notes. I've heard.
Well, it's actually a strategic order. You have to walk into the room. I can tell you now. Matt has to go first, followed by me, followed by the guest.
I've heard that to get urgent info into the show, you've actually got to go through a Great Escape kind of tunnel under a desk.
That's actually true. That's actually true.
We're working on evolving it up to modern standards, but
I think I might be in for a bollocking next week, but we'll live with it if I can.
It is actually interesting you say that because in the last show, of course, a message comes into the room during the show, and of course I do the show without my glasses on. It was written on a piece of paper so small that I don't think it was even in front of me, and it's crawled. The person's crawled under the table and handed me this piece of paper. Happens to be Mark Easton. Look down, here's his piece of paper under the desk.
high 5-star production.
It's top quality production.
You don't get that kind of entertainment anywhere else, and that's what we're trying to bring first and foremost.
So in the middle of doing the commentary, we want to know if there's any empty cans.
There we go. And,
there you go, mate. Happy to help.
And also nearby we have Max. I know Max Kleinig's walked away.
Kleinig's gone for the
He wants none of this.
He wants none of that action.
He's given us the Jerry Maguire show me the money symbol, so we might have to factor that into next week's budget perhaps.
So my wife wants me to cut Matt's hair. There's many stories I could tell you, but that's not going to be one of them. That ain't going to happen. Out of respect to Matt.
Yeah, we actually want to see Matt out and about next week.
So the score here 10-9 to, well, I don't know if that's, but we've got a power play coming up. So
Have you boys put your money on the line here? Have you declared an allegiance to how you see this one going?
No, not yet. We are trying to be as bipartisan and humanly possible here.
I naturally have a bit of a spiritual relationship with the Blazers, given Parko's affiliation, but other than that, I'm completely unbiased in any way, shape or form. And anyone that believes that is more fool than I am.
Also impartial, obviously not aligned with any team in the comp, but it'd be good to see the Blazers, the only team yet to chalk up a win. It'd be good to see them open their account for the competition tonight. I think they're a sneaky chance, so a little bit behind at the moment, but hopefully they can work their way back into this one.
Probably two ends in it overall, to be honest with you, in the scoreline. So.
And in the relation of the bowls, that can be nothing. That's a 6 that's a 4 or 5 in the triples and a 2 or 3 in the singles sort of thing.
So what's
it can all change so quickly?
What's the time difference, Mick? I can assure you that we are 9.5 hours in front of the UK at the moment. So it is 9:09 at night, mate. If you'd actually gotten hold of us about 3 or 4 hours earlier, would have told you the Powerball numbers. Just joke for those people that don't get the time-space continuum. We're talking about haircuts, and just quickly in another lifetime, back in Wagga on a base as a trainee recruit, one of my squad mates needed a haircut quite badly, and the barber was closed. So he said, "Does anyone know how to cut hair?" And I thought, you know what, I'll give that a go. He was the biggest guy in our squad. He looked in the mirror, and when he went, "Ah!" I ran. So, Matt, you're safe. I ain't touching your hair.
Never again.
No.
TJ Hair Machine Saunders, they've called him ever since.
Yeah, well, I can tell you ain't a running machine anymore.
TJ does maintain a good head himself of hair. Who do you go see, mate? Got a plug for your local barber?
I
I feel like the bowls has really
This
come
bowl-
second to the
I don't
hair.
know if we're actually concentrating on
We
what
can
we
get
need to
back
do
on
at the
track.
moment.
Who's been best on ground so far in this rink?
Look, it's actually been quite interesting because it actually has switched backwards and forwards at Parquet, putting a couple of bombs in. Gavin Pfeiffer's really held his own in the 2 slot. You probably now, Karen.
I'm gonna say probably halfway between Laney McGorman or Chris Flavel at this stage.
Yep.
Uh,
He cut it out because I went through all the players and I was
yeah,
about to launch them.
they were the only two you hadn't mentioned.
All
Yeah.
contributing equally then.
Yeah, so it's pretty bipartial, but I think that's just what we expect.
Well,
from this
there
kind
we
of
go.
tournament.
Gavin Pfeiffer demonstrating that he gets them close.
Whoever plays the most recent good bowl is best on
Is
ground.
the best on ground, so Gavin Pfeiffer.
Well done.
Yeah,
It's like what's better out of Coke and Pepsi. I drank Pepsi most recently, so that's better.
that's better.
Now, moving on.
Do you know when you mix Pepsi, doesn't mix as well as Coke?
What?
Really, with ice.
Oh, okay. There we go. I was going to say with something illicit. Now, moving on, for those that are interested, those in South Australia particularly, although if you're long distance, welcome to make the journey. Next Sunday, in what will be rounds 5 and 6, we're having a family fun day. The games obviously will be from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m, but from 10 a.m. to 1, we're going to have face painting, so not just for yourself, but for the kids. If you have any, bring them along. There's going to be a petting zoo from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m, and there's going to be a merch stand from 1 a.m. to 3 p.m. So,
Or 11 a.m.
so TJ, I guess from 11 a.m. you're stuck in the petting zoo.
Awesome. Hey, I like the bunny rabbit. So a great bowl from Justin Parkinson there. Look, as Matt Norton said, so he's best on ground at the moment. No, look, it is swinging.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost as if one person starts to begin to establish himself as the form bowler, another one comes up and says, "Hey, not on my watch."
Chris is interested here.
He's actually sent this very well. It just got to get under his own butt. Makes pretty solid collision and unfortunately doesn't make it. Now, Hayley Feebig, what's the score between Craig and Blake?
But no, it's on the other. On the other green.
Yeah, on the other green, and unfortunately there's 6 people in the
16-9
way.
in favour of Blake.
16-9, so yeah, great results so far for Blake. Obviously not over yet, and Craig's the kind of guy that can make something out of nothing. But at this stage, Blake Feebig in the lead. Justin Parkin saying he has no idea, he had the right line for the shot anyway, just fell short.
So 4 to the Southern Blazers.
So the Blazers continue to pick up, and
And
continue
that
on.
was against the Eastern Raiders power play. So they burn a power play.
Exactly. And naturally, the way Parker was talking, was saying, take the power play, going back towards the clubhouse where the teams perform better. And I guess with a bit of conversation with his coach, decided to go against that. Maybe rush into things, perhaps. So all kinds of different variables you can factor into what creates that decision.
Well, that's one end. You're talking about one end, and now you've sort of got that 5. Was it? Blake Feebig over there,
Blake
actually
Feebig,
really
wow.
happy with it.
He's just sunk Jack in the ditch, I believe.
And sat on top of it. Well, we'll soon see because
he's about a foot and a half wide of it in the ditch, but that was a fantastic
Craig
shot.
Mills probably got about 6 inches to draw to the ditch.
It's going to take a Goliath effort from Craig Mills to get away from that. Blake continuing to
Travis Small, how's Jeff Munn going? And I'll ask him. Hey Jeff, how you going? Sorry, Travis. Mate, he is. I'm one for comedy. The score is.
When's the comedy start?
Was it finished 6-14 against Jeff Munn? So not terribly well.
And Michaela Schultz says, "Petting zoo, I'm there." Well, if that's all we knew it took, we would have started it from round 1. Yep. And Blake Feebig, another fantastic shot. Craig Mills actually drew, shot on the ditch, and Blake Feebig sips it in for what I think is 2 shots. So that's 2 huge horns for Blake right there. So Michaela and Hayley, if you're still tuning in, I definitely want to be here next week when he's playing again because he's putting on an absolute show right now.
Look at Mills, he's hold his finger up. Mills
Yeah.
has got his finger up. Yep, how does it? Yep.
And
That's how many bowls went in the ditch, Mills. One.
Craig Mills, Craig counted his chickens before
Well,
he
they
hatched.
He had his finger up.
Had his finger up from before
and
halfway.
he was strutting.
Yeah, he was like a cock in the walk. He full of bravado and fell through. If
I don't
there's
know how
one,
you can come back from that.
well,
That's awesome.
put it this way, he's not getting away from us now.
No. Oh. And
There's no escaping that our wrath.
Yep.
So,
So Chris just calling, put a yard on to Michael Lodge.
So as we used to say to Blake in our Marion days, it's now officially Hammer time. His nickname, obviously, Hammer. Michaela, I'm normally always there, but definitely will be there next Sunday. I was glad to hear. Look forward to you. Well, I mean, obviously not tuning in, but supporting live and direct at the Salisbury Bowling Club. And I mean, if the conditions are anything like today, only lighter, with should be in for a great Sunday. So Gavin Pfeiffer obviously holding shot, but it's tentative at this point, you know, and obviously it's right out there in the opening to be taken by the opponents.
Almost going on a limb here, Stuart and Jess are holding two.
Yeah.
I think that Karen Gatto is bowled second wood.
Yeah, Parko calling for at least a weighted bowl. Get behind, failing that, you're in the head pushing another bowl through, so you actually got a bit of insurance. Michaela Schultz put Blake in the TV ring. I don't have that ability nor power to.
We don't know who does.
I don't know who
It's like
makes
the Wizard of Oz.
I don't know who makes the call. I mean, should they consult me, I'll definitely be put it there. And Michael Lodge take a bow. That was a fantastic shot right there.
We don't even know if Blake's got a gig next week.
Yes, it's true. Yeah, Blake's going to be picked first and foremost. I mean, if you're a coach, you'd be silly not to.
Could be rested. Ben Harris was BOG round 1, didn't play rounds 2 and 3. Only player in his whole squad not to get a gig.
Good reason behind that. There was a showdown that weekend, and he's a Crows fan.
He looks in match fitness over there at the moment, I can assure you.
The absolute peak of fitness right now.
Oh, yeah. And it's interesting that Ben Harris declared that he's off to Canada.
Yeah.
Mustn't be far away because he doesn't seem to be moving at a great rate of knots to get there.
No, I feel if he continues at this current speed, he'll still be here next week.
Might make the gate at Salisbury.
There's a snail's pace, and then there's this.
That's a little bit surprising. Parko falling up just a tad short on that one.
Yeah.
Still got one pull to go.
I mean, when Jack's that close to the ditch, you're either making sure that you're in, or you're making sure that you're up, or you're through.
Yep.
There's no value to be gained from that. I'm sure Parko realises. But Chris Flavel does the same thing.
Yeah,
so
not far off it either. I think one of the things, you're looking to draw in on that open hand and you leave one there, and there's a great percentage that his next bowl will have good weight, but hit that bowl.
Exactly right. How often do you play a ball where you hit whatever's in your line, thinking that you're safe from any obstacle?
Tell you what, if he's got the right line here, it's actually going to be interesting. But
he sneaks under it, but pulls up again.
It's interesting. It seems to be pulling up at the moment, doesn't it?
Yeah.
He did mention earlier when he came over and joined us that there was good speed in the green, and
did say it's sort of
this ain't going to be short.
Did say it's forever changing, and Chris Flavel's put lots onto that. Fully. I mean, it looks like it'll go in the ditch at this rate, but it's slowing down fast.
He is absolutely bowled it.
That's a fantastic shot.
Great bowl.
So it's clearly slowed down enough, because I reckon earlier on the night that would have gone through for sure.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, and probably goes away to explaining the two short bowls from Parko and from Chris.
Yeah. Yep. So look, 14-11 after 12 ends, I think.
And the Blazers, the Raiders fight back just that little bit.
It's in the singles, 7-14 against Jeff Munn there. Tony Trelaw holding. up and back on the singles. So a little bit of work for Jeff Munn to do. He has actually called his power play. I can see that actually stuck in his scoreboard.
Yeah, hasn't started that at the end off well. He's jack high, but has played it very narrow. So given Tony Treloar plenty of room to work with, and considering the lead that Tony's already established, that's something that you clearly don't want to do.
Was Tony Treloar jumping on that?
Yeah, no, very, very good start. Slightly through, but the perfect line.
So Jeff Munn winning his singles against Ash Halls last bowl of the day, ripping out Ash's bowl. Did pick up the kitty. There was some hecklers at the back of the green, praying because he came fist pumping down the green, praying the bowl when the jack went out of bounds, but it didn't. That, as I indicated, the show might have been Ben Harrison himself.
Yeah, well, I mean, Ben appears to be setting himself up as the consummate sideline supporter at this rate in the tournament.
And I'm easily led.
Yeah. He infamous. I guess Ben's infamous for gearing off that boo to Craig Mills at the start in round one. So it feels like any loud sort of a disturbance from the sidelines that happens to be instigated by Ben first.
Just quickly back to Jeff Munn, who parked his second bowl right on Jack, and
the third one just goes through, but in very good spot.
Maybe in a count. He's holding two.
Yeah, that's a good spot right there. And
so with the Raiders holding shot at the moment, so Michael Lodge just coming in to add to that count.
Yeah, no stress here for Lodgy, and pulls up just a tiny bit short, but still, it's in the way, it's in the count, so there's nothing really to be upset about. Ben Fidock pairs score, that is 13-10 in favour of the Raiders. So still very much close, and they got 8 ends to go, so a lot of time to be played, a lot of bowls to be bowled.
Because Jared Goodwin, the marker over in the singles, doing a bit of a stretch up. I think he might be super subbing in by the way he's stretching up over there earlier.
I don't think any team's that desperate, to be perfectly honest.
Oh.
Having said that,
Chargers Spartans to the Wasley Bowling Club, 49-35 in favour of the Spartans.
So
funny enough, they don't have an end count over there, but we are drawing to the end of the singles here. Well, you can stick a pin in it for the singles over there. We've got Tony Devlin in the way there, so I'm not too sure of the singles, but you could say that Mills lost because he's not.
I know it's 17 for someone in the singles. Can't see the ends nor the opposition score, so Mark Haynes is unfortunately obscuring my view, so if anyone can quickly pull him aside, that'd be great.
So look at that. Close. So
yeah, fantastic shot right there. Well, Craig Mills is walking off. The singles is finished. 17-10 for Blake Feebig, it appears. So that's a great result for the Spartans. I guess the Raiders. I mean, yeah, the Raiders will be heavily favoured going into that match. They've been in pretty good form over the course of the series tournament so far.
Well, look at this. Tell you what, that's not far away. Oh,
Wow.
I don't know if we wanted that.
A great effort by Chris Flavel. Unfortunately, doesn't go the right way.
Yep, so Gavin Pfeiffer indicating that the Blazers are holding shot at the moment.
Parko playing the safe hand, not looking to really mess with anything too much.
It's interesting the pairs combination of Nathan Black, Tyson Wilson over Ewan Graham and Steve Dennis, 19-9 over there, which is Chargers v Spartans. So well done again to the young combination. Deanna Amos sticking to her guns of making sure there's that development up, going through and they're not letting her down.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, you know, the two of them have been very storied players in their relatively short careers by contrast, and their natural talent alone just exudes most that they come up against. So
Well, let's see if we get the aero bend with Chris, and I reckon he's absolutely... Oh,
well, he's called it, but he just
got
didn't
shot-
quite get the result.
Shot to the Raiders. He did. He got the result. Michael Lodge has called it. And Gavin Fife saying, we're down.
Gav Pfeiffer's one down, so that's a great result there by Chris Flavel.
Yep.
Certainly didn't appear to be as close as it first appeared, but that ricochet was just held on.
The interesting thing is, you know, when you've done all the work, last ball in hand, you can't do anything else now. It's
Yeah, you play the waiting game, and just, you sort of hope to your own self that the opposition skipper's not going to undo all the hard work that you put down. But Parko, not to be outdone, rolls his through.
I think he's rolled. That's Chris Flavel's first ball.
Chris Flavel, so
two. So they close up that gap, 14-13 after 13.
yeah, so not the desired result for the Blazers, but they keep their heads in front for now, and with less than a handful of ends left, there's not much time for them to be really dropping numbers.
I'll tell you what, in all fairness, I'm looking at this singles. Jeff Munn's left his run too late. Picks up a full four here. He still goes down by one last end.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, the last two ends he's really fired back. I mean, he's the two bowls further 6 inches from Giddy.
Yeah, I mean, he was unlucky. He's unlucky in the sense that Jeff Munn's drawn two within, a bowl's width of it.
Yep.
And he narrowly missed ripping them both out then.
It's interesting. You can actually see the bowls on the vision.
Yeah. So, he's played the right shots. He just hasn't quite gotten the desired result.
You must love this surface, money.
And Jared Goodwin.
I couldn't go one game of singles with Jeff Munn without giving him a little bit of ribbon. Of course, he got a wry smile from him as he ran past.
Yeah, even Jared Goodwin as well had a little giggle at that. He knows things have gone well for him, and well.
I'll tell you what, that's actually not a bad bowl from Tony Treloar.
It's a great shot by Tony Treloar.
He's cut it from three down to one down.
And with one bowl to come, he's given himself a plethora of room to at least save a bit of face here. So, I mean, if I was staring the barrel down, I'd be trying to bare jacket for four with my last. So let's see what money's got on him. As they say, scared money don't make money.
Well, he's given himself every opportunity over there in the singles, I can tell you now.
He's given it a shake. As long as he finishes behind, he's done well. And finishes in backer's position.
I reckon Jared Goodwin's indicating Tony Treloar's got shot.
Yeah, so you'd think you could... There looks like to be potential to slice Jack sideways for two, maybe even three if he gets it far enough. So,
well, he's parking it in there.
Yeah, just settles for the one.
There we go. That's two.
Makes two.
Two on a power play is four. It's 9-18.
Yeah, so that's a great win to Tony Treloar over Jeff Munn.
Of the Raiders, but valuable shots when it's actually 33 ends gone, 30-33 in favour of the Raiders.
And Teresa Emberton, it must be time for Parko to have another chat to you guys. Well, I mean, I won't say no to a chat with Parko. He makes great conversation, so we'll see if we can lure him over here before he bowls.
So looking at back to the triples, which we're viewing. It's Eastern Raiders holding that with Lady McGorman's first bowl. I don't know if Lodgie's happy with this one. He seems to be, I don't know what he was looking for, but you wouldn't be terribly unhappy with it, I can assure you that.
That was a fantastic effort right there.
He just didn't look like he was happy with that coming down.
No, but...
got a smile on his face.
Yeah, from the launch it didn't look great, but it certainly rectified itself over the journey.
Well, I think wrecked is probably a word. Came to wreck.
Yeah.
Hey, Karen, how you going?
I'm very well. How are you guys?
Karen Gatto, thanks for being the super sub with us this evening.
That's okay.
Now, it's very tight coming into these last few ends.
Yeah, it is.
How's it all feeling out there on the green? Are the nerves setting in, or is there a bit of pressure? How's it all shaping up?
No, I think everyone's really comfortable now and finding the line. The line's quite different from the narrow to the wide, but the heads, we have to change them up quite a lot. So trying a few, draw shots, but, conversions through the head. So, yeah, it's all good. Having fun.
Is it changing end to end? It feels like over the course of the game it's slightly differed the way that the bowls are reacting to the surface.
Yeah, I think it is. It probably has slowed down a little bit, but coming back towards the clubhouse, it just seems to be a freer, just freer through the green. So we tend to be playing better down this end. So that's where we've both played our power ends.
Yep.
But we haven't won either of them, so we're doing pretty well. But it's a tough game, tight game, and really enjoyable.
Of course, ex-clubmate and teammate of yours, Chris Flavel, doing a bit of damage to you there at the moment.
He is.
I actually did say earlier on, you're leading really, really well, and I actually had the pleasure of having you as my lead when I skipped the Lachlan,
good fun.
And it was. It's actually, it's great. And we spoke to Mark Casey earlier, and he said, look, bowls, and it's all about the social, the friendship.
Yeah, definitely.
You bonded really well with your team.
Yeah, good blokes. And look, we haven't played. This is the first time I've played with Fife and Parko tonight. But yeah, we've gelled pretty well, and I think Laney's team's the same with Chris and Lodgy. Yeah, but yeah, Chris's drawing is absolutely brilliant, and he's coming through the head. And killing those tight ends. It's really good conversion shots. Yeah, good fun.
Awesome.
Thanks,
you. Karen. Cheers.
No worries.
Good luck with the rest of the game.
Thanks to Karen Gatto there, coming in for the super sub there, and hopefully we didn't get her in trouble with her skip. As Chris Flavel lumbers one down.
Jared Goodwin sat down at the commentary position 2 minutes, and we've got a beer-soaked program in front of him. Unbelievable.
And Jared Goodwin, you just come off marking the singles game. What was the stand like? How was it like to be out there amongst, I guess, as an official of the Super League?
No, it's good. Tony Trull played really well. It was a good standard. The score probably didn't reflect the end result of well, it did because it was the end result, wasn't it? But geez, that was real good. Fine piece of commentary.
We actually happened to watch the last 2 or 3 ends, and I mean, we know there was a power play last end, but Jeff probably a little bit unlucky.
He definitely
probably left his run a little bit late.
Yeah, there was a couple of times where he was holding, and Tony just was too good on that last bowl. He just came in and. No, I've never seen Tony play before. I've heard about him obviously, but he was really good. I was impressed.
Good. And I think Jared probably pointed out something that's been brought up a couple of times, that if you're not familiar with the country bowlers and whatever else, you probably don't get to see him play. We've got an event like this, and it brings our bowls community here in South Australia that one step closer again.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially in the earlier game as well. I think. Umpiring the early game, and I think there was the fella playing Dory in the singles from Port Augusta. Yeah. His name escapes me at the moment.
Darren Warner.
That's him. He was unbelievable. His drive was just ferocious.
He is well known for his fast drive.
So, Dory's come across a couple of them now. In round 1, he played Simon Gator-Johnson, and naturally I'd heard of him going into the game, but I'd never seen him play. And, obviously joining us at Holdfast this season, it was great to see him go up against one of the state's best like that. So, it's great to see what could be considered unknown country players really matching it and really giving it to, the best that the Metropolitan's got to offer.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's why, people early on might have questioned the selection of the country people and the development people and that, but it's good to get them out here and amongst it, and definitely introducing... them to us city folk.
Interesting. Exactly. Sorry, Simon, you say that. Looking right over at the far rink, and interesting because I commentated the game, Scott Folburn, James Gregory versus Nathan Black and Tyson Wilson, and yet over there you could almost chalk those boys up again for a win, unless something drastic happens. Yeah, Nathan Black again and Tyson Wilson claiming another scalp against quality player like Steve Dennis.
I don't think he's too far away from getting a city call up, young Blackie. I think
we've tried.
We've tried. we might just have to convince Mrs. Black to see if we can get him here. But Thanks very much for having me. I think I might go and get a warm cup of tea.
You should
No.
do.
Yeah, no
Lane
worries.
Gorman, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Good. Absolutely cracking game out here at the moment. It's a battle of the leagues.
Absolutely, it's going pretty well.
So we've got money on you tackling Karen Gatto round the knees. Just get that one over.
It's quite possible, you know, bit of capping action going on.
Philly out there, the green change through the night.
Not really, but it's very different to last Sunday. A bit more turn on it, a bit quicker.
Yep. What do you? I mean, is it a similar surface to your home club there at Payneham?
No, not at all. There's just not the draw that we have. It's about 4 seconds slower.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a big difference.
So I think that was one of the things going into round one that I first suspected. Yourself, Chris Flavel, the people that come off synthetics were going to just have this natural affinity to this surface, and to hear those kinds of comments where it's not even remotely close. I guess sort of evens the playing field up a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's probably more similar to a Tranmere, although carpet, but that's probably the speed and the turn it's got on it.
Yep.
So yeah.
And your teammates, you suddenly get a bit of a combination with Chris and Michael.
Yeah, they're good guys. They're really great to play with. The most positive guys you'll find out there. So yeah.
Tell you what, I don't think too many people are going to pick a fight. I mean, they're pretty tall blokes.
Yeah, I feel pretty safe in amongst them. Yeah.
Look, overall, it's actually fairly tight. I don't know if anyone's actually updated that overall board.
Masterboard looks out of date.
That masterboard looks fairly. How you doing?
I think it's about 15 up at the moment for us.
Yep.
Yeah. So Tony gave us a really, really good head start in the singles. He won by 9. So.
And you know what the reality is, and obviously just to drift away from your game a little bit, Jeff Munn's played a couple of cracking games in the past, beat Ash Halls last week, and Tony steps up. So, we had Jared Goodwin saying, look, you'd heard about Tony Terrell, haven't seen him play, so great opportunity to see a lot of players that we don't normally see.
Absolutely. Tony was a bit the unknown even in our team. First practice, it was sort of, how you going? Like, we hadn't met him, but he's a hidden gem, that's for sure.
And of course, Chris is around the area, but look, your prediction for this game?
Well, I'd be a bit silly if I went against us, but it's going to finish tight. It's been tight all along. This is our power play, and it looks like we've got a couple.
Yep.
So yeah, I like to think we'll be able to get up.
Nullify the power play, and you've sort of got it pretty comfortably.
Absolutely, yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, it'd be good to get the rink as well, though.
Yep. Awesome, Laney. Best of luck the rest of the game.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thanks to Laney McGorman from the Payneham Bowling Club, and obviously the Southern Blazers as Eastern Raiders.
Do you know when you shoot, you do something instinctively?
Yep.
Touch wet paint, thinking, well, I've got paint on my finger, of course, and you go, prediction for the game, and I just sat there and went, yeah, that was a really good question. Yeah, awesome.
Obviously it wasn't.
Yeah, I probably don't rate that question I asked too highly.
Yeah, I think if people paid us on professionalism, that's why we're volunteers.
Hang on, I'm paying to do this.
Oh, you are too?
I thought it was just my secret. But no, look, thanks for everyone that's been tuning in. It's awesome to get the support, and I'm sure you do. You get the comments through on your personal phone, whatever else, that people appreciate what everyone does, And, just a quick shout out. We had Matt Northcott here before. Yep, all right, he's bowled us, he's a paid employee. But there's people that do the job, and there's people that do it and do it really well. And you can see that they're enthusiastic. You can see that they're real passionate about it. And the team at Bowls, you can see that passion.
Oh, exactly right. The professionalism that's gone into getting this event up and running, getting it going, and even with the, there were teething problems with the very first weekend. Obviously we had to deal with the live stream issues.
Yep.
But any obstacle that's come up, it's been addressed, it's been overcome.
Yep.
It's been built forward each and every single week, and I think that's a testament to what Bowls SA has really done with this, and full credit to them for coming up with the idea, putting it forward, and bringing it to life.
Yep. Well, we mentioned in the last game, you've seen Kane Cool's last bowl, no chance of winning, but you know what? Still understanding that what the reality is, professional, put it down, overall board. But the reality is too that someone like Kane doesn't get caught up in the moment. Understood that the overall shots too over the whole tournament.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually means something as well. So I think, if there's a lesson to be learnt from anyone that's young looking to play the game, or playing the game, that, you know what, doesn't matter if you've actually lost your rink, it still counts.
Yeah, precisely right. I know I've been fortunate to be in those rare positions where I lost the rink, but I won the game overall, even with the last bowl, which is even rarer again.
Yep.
So every little bit counts. You do your little bit for the team, and
I'll tell you what, I don't know what it is about you and I, Stu, just quickly, and sorry to interrupt there, mate, but
No,
Lena
go for it.
McGorman.
She's had an
Talks to
interview.
us,
She's playing
good
well.
interview, and straight in, bang.
Karen Gatto, even the end she came in, she played well for.
Yep.
I think we're a good luck charm.
We must be.
We'll dress in our leprechaun gear next week. They'll probably call. Maybe this is the petting zoo all up.
Reenactment of it.
Yeah, but it does happen to be sort of a bit more interesting than it appears that the interviewees seem to play great. Now, going into some comments, Matthew Greenslade, can you see the Spartans triple score at all?
Yes, we can. Thank you very much. So anyway, back to that. Yeah, we can. That's one right in front of us there, which is 16-20.
Yes.
In favour of the Chargers. The Chargers taking a 2 on that last end, starting end 16.
So yeah, up and back after this current end. So still very close and a couple ends to go. Meanwhile, Gavin Pfeiffer pulling up short with his inaugural bowl for this end, but given that Lodgy was short with his first, definitely seems to be a changing of the green, and these guys having to make those rapid adjustments, as Karen was saying.
Are you not happy with it?
No,
Every time he makes a comment and says he's not happy about something.
it seems to be.
Yeah, I think he was actually called to go match Karen's 2 bowls at the back.
Yeah.
That's probably why he's not happy
I
about it.
must say, the grimace on his face looked exactly like the Raiders logo on their jersey. Got the matching hair and everything.
Yeah. So, Michael Lodge is giving Chris some advice. I'm not terribly sure it's about the game. I don't know, but
on the other hand, Gavin Pfeiffer and Justin Parkinson are only saying 4 or 5 words at the very least.
I'm sure it wasn't "I love you" and "I'll see you later." But
yeah, I mean, I might be an "I love you." They looked at each other quite tenderly.
Endearing eyes.
Yeah, sort of. In any event, it appeared their missions obviously well set out to them, what they have to do. And Chris Flavel was sending his down, and
he had to match the back.
Yeah, he's definitely behind with this one,
and he's actually split that. That's actually very handy indeed.
Yeah, Karen Gatto still has the 2 backest, but 2 down's better than 3. Obviously, gives them plenty of room and forces.
Well, you'll know Justin's intentions from his first bowl, you'd suggest.
Yeah, exactly.
And his is trying to park that in.
Parko by name, Parko by nature. And that's a fantastic shot by Justin Parkinson.
Go.
So beautiful bowl there.
Does spread the target, but as we said, you don't really want to be dragging that back a great distance.
Exactly.
He's probably got 18 inches he can drag that kitty before it becomes a danger.
Yeah. I mean, you can afford to play a bit quicker at that now. You're likely to go with the jack than you are have it spray elsewhere.
Yep.
And Chris Flavel played some great weight, just slightly too wide for the shot. So, one would imagine same again, Parko, but Justin goes up to have a quick look just to see if there's anything else on offer.
It's actually interesting, you get the call from your teammate, but when you're not familiar with how he calls, there's an uncertainty.
Yeah, I always find it a bit amusing in pennants when the skips cross over and then they ask their 3 immediately what to play, and you go, well, you were just up there.
you were just there, but you know what?
Naturally, in that situation, there's been 3 or 4 bowls played, so and you might want to find the safest avenue, which is always an interesting thing. And Parko almost played the perfect bowl from a harder difficulty, but didn't harm the head at all. So
Well, last end we're coming in at 15-16.
So this will be a terrific end right here.
Chris Flavel having the last bowl of this game.
So we've got an interesting position of the Leeds been capitalising a bit on those first few bowls, but naturally Chris Flavel has the last bowl.
We've got overall is 33-50. Not terribly sure that overall board's actually accurate because indicating 43 ends. 54 constitutes a full game. 4 to go in the pairs. 1 to go in the triples. And the singles completed.
Yeah, if my calculations are correct, it's 14 shots.
Overall.
Yeah, overall, which it...
With about 3 or 4 ends to play.
It's not out of reach. But having
Laney not terribly happy with that one. Either she'd either eaten something bad or not happy with the bowl. I'm going with not happy with the bowl.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen her, or especially since the barbecue's wrapped up. I haven't seen anyone grab any food. And that's a
good bowl.
Yeah, good bowl by Karen Gatto there. One behind, one pretty close. Can't ask for too much more. It's been a long game. It's been an ever-changing game by the way the Greens performed.
I'll tell you what, Laney's not too far away here.
This is a great shot by Laney as well.
That's red hot.
That's a fantastic bowl. Beautiful finish to Laney McGorman there, and I dare say once again the Leeds have really put on a spectacle. I feel like we say that every single game, but I mean it keeps proving true.
Well, I'd like to say we got the some of the best players, if not the best players in the state out there. They didn't get picked out here because they won the raffle.
Yeah, exactly right. If they did, it's a hell of a prize.
Well, and I can tell you now, the grass parrot bit unlucky didn't turn that bowl over and sit. Got second wood. That's Gavin Pfeiffer.
So Chris Flavel signalling 1 up at this stage to Michael Lodge. So not a great deal of pressure now. Just matter of playing the best shot available.
He's given it a little bit of width there, which is actually handy considering he doesn't want to be too tight, but it has hung.
Finishing behind's not a bad spot. I mean, while things are looking good overall, they naturally want to try and hold on to that rink win should either Fife or Parko play the bomb bowl.
Because Steve Grant just going over and adjusting the score there for us. The end count might have been tidy, but we can pretty much tell you that there's 3 ends to go in the pairs, and we're on the last end for the triples.
Yeah, and the Raiders certainly, I would say, home and hosed at this point, but
I don't want to put the kiss of death on them yet because, as I said, there's quality out there.
Not in this game.
Ash Wiley looks like he's got nervous legs over there, but it's not nervous. It's probably just cold.
Yeah, probably just cold.
Cold. The amount of people that are wearing shorts out there, my hat's off to them.
Although, having said that, I only wear shorts when I bowl, so I'd be doing the exact same thing in their shoes.
So I think the head's actually in favour of the Eastern Raiders there. It's hard to tell because both Parko and Chris look very relaxed.
Yeah, they're pretty chilled out right now. I guess imminent defeat and victory has sort of processed through them.
I can tell you now, I don't think Parko's going to be short here.
No, I wouldn't want to be either.
Got that look of determination. Yeah. That's actually pretty handy, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's not enough O's and smooth through his delivery. That's a fantastic effort. And a beautiful shot by Parko.
But he's still one to the Raiders. But I tell you what, and that's that luck.
Yeah.
That hit 1 inch more to the left, he's got shot.
Exactly right. I apologise if there's any sound disturbance, but shot Parko!
Also, the music's actually getting louder. Ben Blaker, well,
Oh, that
I
was
thought
that-
I thought I was giving Ben a ride home. He's obviously got a ride home.
And Ben Fidock, the pairs score. It is Mitch Percy's in the way currently, so we'll get back to you in a
Mitch,
second.
can you please get out of the way? Thank you. 16-18 in favour of the Raiders.
So 2 shots in. They're still incredibly close over there as well. So every opportunity for the Blazers to steal a couple rinks, even if they can't get the overall, and those little points could add up in the overall spectrum, despite being
Parko's left that one short. He's going to be kicking himself.
Yeah, he'd be disappointed with that.
Absolutely. Especially the quality Justin Parkson bowls at. He wouldn't be, and you can see he's not.
A quality bowler. He's played well tonight as well. Naturally disappointed with that bowl, and probably be thinking on the drive home how he could have changed a few things here or there, or and whatnot. But
I reckon they've
that's
actually
just
got
how
shot
it goes.
there, Well, 1 end to go. They've taken a 2, maybe a 3.
So waiting for the coach to flip the scoreboard over, and they do. They
grab a
take a
2.
2. So the Blazers lead by 1 on the last end. So naturally, Parko would have loved to have got a 3 and get that 2-shot buffer, but I mean, you're not going to argue with being 1 in front.
And of course, the Raiders, last end. Now it's the last end.
Exactly.
And they've got the power play.
Yeah,
going.
they've called the power play. So, I mean, not only will this just help the overall, or a 1
they've
will
actually
give.
got a power play on the pairs as well.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter what the Blazers. Sorry, it doesn't matter what the Raiders score at this stage. A 1 will give them a 2 by the power play
Exactly
rules,
right.
and
They just got to win the end.
they just have to win the end, and they win the game.
Yep. Actually,
So a rather interesting way of tackling it.
Yep.
Naturally, no right or wrong way to play the power play, but it's been interesting to see how people have approached it. And I guess he was. I was talking to Scott Thelborn after his game with James Gregory last Sunday morning, and he said, it would have been good if they did it in the first 2 ends, and they would have won overall.
Yep. That's actually an interesting first bowl from Laney. I just haven't seen a finish out that wide.
Yeah, well, I mean, both Karen and Laney playing very well.
Tell that's going to change the world you live in.
So, I mean, without seeing Laney's last bowl, probably the loosest end that the two have played this game.
Yep. And Laney, of course, holding shot with the bowl at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
But I can tell you now, she's a great adjuster, and look at that.
And she's adjusted in kind as well. That's a fantastic shot. And both the leads have played incredibly well so far this game, and we'll still say, despite that bowl, the loosest, they have played much tighter and consistently over the course. But
well, Gavin Pfeiffer's no stranger to a bit of pressure.
Yeah, and well, he almost responded immediately under it.
And now it's sitting there waiting. So Michael Lodge, of course, interviewed Michael Lodge first Wednesday show, and said he was looking forward to seeing the juniors coming through. It was really positive conversation had with Michael, both on and off the camera. So look, for me as well, getting to know some of the bowlers a little bit better as well.
Yeah, exactly right. That's probably the best thing about this, and even a great thing with Mark Casey coming down. Everyone that was in down live here at Salisbury tonight was able to actually have a bit of a meet and greet with Mark before all the formalities began, and have a chat with a living walking legend of lawn bowls.
Yeah, well, probably there's not too many boxes he hasn't ticked as far as tournaments that he's won and titles that he's held. So, very approachable. As a lot of people in bowls are. There's the game. The game actually has that inviting sort of feel to it with the players. They're open. Well,
that's true. I mean, Casey, Mark Casey's obviously a fantastic guy on and off the green. But having said that, I've met a number of the Australian guys in my travels, and all of them incredibly approachable. They'll have a chat with you, and one guy in particular, Steve Glasson. I hadn't seen him in 4 years since I first met him, and he remembered me like we'd only seen each other yesterday. So he's got an elephant memory when it comes to seeing people.
Well, here we go. It's Eastern Raiders holding 2, power play 4. That would almost seal it up the overall. But Parko, we know that he is not going to be far away.
Yeah, exactly. It's not all said and done until Parko's played his too. He won't die wondering.
Exactly right.
Always got this ice cold look of determination about him when he steps on the mat.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I reckon. What do you reckon he's going to be putting in here? He's going to be putting weight through there to the back. Karen's back too.
Yeah, exactly. He's got a couple in the head, so he doesn't have to worry too much about dropping a number, and he's close, just not close enough.
Tell you what, you might want to ask Justin Parkinson if he wants a tally-ho paper.
Yeah, I reckon if the ball breathed out, it would have hit. I think Chris Flavel's breathing a sigh of relief as he walks back up the green. And
he definitely does not want to widen up that target.
No, definitely not. I mean, bloody well. That was as tight as things get.
I am not a betting man, but I reckon I'm going to be betting that he's going to try and match those 2 back bowls there somewhere.
I mean, we look on the replay of that Parko bowl, and wow, he was not far away at all.
The slow stream.
The slow stream, as we've called it.
Well, this is actually interesting. I said, you know what, TJ? I'm going to make a liar at you.
Well,
he hasn't fattened it. He definitely hasn't fattened it.
All he's done is ask the question.
And you know what?
He's asked.
There's a cannon. If he hits that, that's actually going to sit.
Yeah.
That's actually going to stay there.
So there's a bit of work to do, but
if he 45s it, it's all coming out.
We've got the men for the job in front of us, I think.
Yep. He hits that at 4 o'clock. That's all over. Game over. Chris. Oh, it's still
Parko,
bouncing.
He's bounced. It might jump over the head.
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
Oh no.
Parko signalling for the kill. Does it go?
But unfortunately, have a look what's sitting back there in front of Karen Gatto's bowl.
Unfortunately, one for the Raiders. So
it had actually the splash damage had come through and taken Karen Gatto's.
Yeah, so very unfortunate in the scheme of things, but a great shot. I mean, it would have been even more unlucky if it didn't go out of bounds after popping forward. So, an unlucky result for Justin Parkinson, but a great shot played and a margin of adjustment, and it would have been perfect if Chris Flavel comes in and
draws second. That's
just draws another. Yeah. That's 2 great shots there.
2, which is 4 overall. So.
4 shots to the Raiders.
4 shots, which will take that
21-17.
4 or 2017?
Oh, 2017, sorry.
2017 in favour of the Raiders. So
that's game over. Chris Flavel looks at us all smiles as he congratulates his team.
I'll tell you what, mate, absolute cracking effort by all 6 out there in that game.
Oh, absolutely. It definitely didn't look easy out there, and as some of the guys and girls said, it didn't get any easier from start through finish. So, a fantastic effort by all involved.
Look, the overall board's got to get updated.
The Raiders do have the commanding lead, leading on all rinks.
56 to 40, I think.
With 2 ends to play, or with one end to play after this current game,
we might just stick with it for this end on the pairs, just to see how that eventuates.
Yeah, we can't quite show everyone what's going on, but there's opportunity for the Raiders to get all rinks up. I'm not sure that's happened to any team so far this season. So
just want to we'll just have a look at one. So one to the Blazers. They tie it up 18 all in the triples last end. So mate, we'll declare it. It's Raiders to over the Blazers. Blazers still winless in the tournament.
Yeah, and it's a bit unfortunate. The Blazers have performed well in all their games, just haven't quite got that edge to get over the line. I mean, they would have won last week if it hadn't been for Scott Thelborn, and I think if it weren't for Tony Treloar, they probably could have got up to tonight as well. Yep. So, a couple factors, maybe the odd team tweak adjustment here or there. Who's to say? Yeah,
well, look, there's a little bit of work, I guess, that Linton Modra, the coach of the Blazers, go away tonight over the weekend, have a think about what he's going to look at for next week, and go in and hopefully pick up a win.
Yeah, got double header next Sunday, of course, and
Yep. So look, we're going to have to sign off here. It's with the last end, but with as you can see, there's nothing on the screen. So look. Next Sunday, we've shouted that out from 10 o'clock. There's a lot going on next Sunday.
The family
Stuart.
fun day. So
absolutely, face painting, petting, and a lot of other things.
Plus some quality bowls as well.
Well, we're here for the bowls. So look, thank you very much for tuning in tonight. We look forward to you tuning in to the next game.
Go Raiders.
And of course, Steve Grant walking past. It must have been the kiss of good luck. Everyone we've interviewed tonight seems to have had that good luck.
Yeah, we've done well.
But look, on behalf of myself and of Stuart, thank you very much for joining me tonight.
Pleasure as always, TJ.
So look, join us next Sunday, Sunday week from 10 o'clock as we launch into another doubleheader. So until then, stay safe.
See you next time.